I'm sure people would not like that shirt.
People get really when people are like their breasts. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, sweetie. Sometimes they're titties.
Yeah.
Like there's a different. My breast gets a mammogram. My titty gets fondled.
Yeah.
This is the difference.
Yeah. My titties get all the attention.
That's right, your titties do.
Lights, camera, and action. Welcome to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. Remember those childhood movies you loved? We're going to watch them again and find out if they're still as amazing as you remember. Let's get ready to join Anna and Jimmy as they go back and watch those movies you remember being oh so awesomely good. Horror movies that scared. Comedy movies that dared.
Damn!
And action movies so preposterously ludicrous that they defied the laws of common sense. Now, here's your hosts, Anna Santos and Jimmy Coates.
So I got my Snoopy and Woodstock Christmas on. So have you started your Christmas shopping?
Well, you see, normally after I put up the Christmas tree on Christmas Eve morning, I go to the mall and then I do my Christmas Eve shopping and I buy everybody presents. I'm really lucky. We don't really buy for a lot of like outside people. Like I buy for my friends sometimes. Usually we just end up going out to dinner. So we're like, let's all just go out for a really nice dinner. We'll bond. And then all of us bring our various samples from like Sephora that we have collected over the course of the year. And we trade them. Like that's the Merry Christmas for us. Sometimes there's a Secret Santa, sometimes there's not. But for us in like my house, we buy for the kids who are now 17 and almost 19.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So it's very much like, hey, here's $50.
Yeah.
And here's, that gift card to Starbucks. Enjoy. And well, my nephew is a little bit different, but and then for the adults, I buy them like a box of chocolates just so we don't have a super pathetic gift opening after dinner on Christmas Eve.
See, I got a house full of kids, so it's the whole...
Yeah. You do everything.
Yeah, everything.
They're the presents from the family, and then there's the presents from Santa.
Yep.
And then there's stockings and all of that.
Yeah, it's a production.
Yeah, we don't do that. We're like, we have dinner, we open our presents, we have some dessert, we go to midnight mass, everybody goes home and sleeps. The next day you eat some more. Like, that's it.
See, this one's drinkable.
But look at that. Your mug matches your t-shirt.
It's everywhere. God damn it.
That's what you get for saying it's drinkable. It's okay. I figure I'll bring out all of my Christmas regalia for an upcoming episode that we're doing. That features my favorite. Well, one of my favorite Christmas movies.
I'm super excited about that one.
Me too.
I'm really looking forward to that one. I can't wait. But
it's a little different, but
yeah. But today we are just friends.
Yes, we are.
It's 2005. You and me have both been out of film school for a bit now. I was doing nothing in the film business. Not even independently. How about you in 2005?
Wait. In 2005. Oh, shit. I think I was working at a gym. Was I working? Wait, Fitness Institute? No, wait. I think I was working retail at the time. Because I had worked as a research assistant at a psychiatric clinic the year before, 2005. Wow. True story. I was not qualified for it at all, but apparently I interview very well. And then, but this was just before I started working in television. So I think it was in 2006 I went and started working in television. So I might have been working at the Alzheimer's Society of Ontario as a receptionist at the time that this movie came out. Nothing to do with film. Not even a little bit.
No.
Nope.
All right. Well, in November 2005, some of the top songs were Gold Digger by Kanye West, My Humps by Black Eyed Peas, Photograph by Nickelback, Wake Me Up When September Ends, Green Day, and Run It by Chris Brown. TV was still showing new episodes of 2.5 Men, How I Met Your Mother, Prison Break, Bones, House, Lost, 3 different CSIs, and there's still new episodes just before the December break. Now, in 2005, also the top toys, if your parents had some money, that would have bought you the Xbox 360. It was the most popular toy of 2005. I did not get a Xbox 360. Of course, I was a lot older in 2005. I couldn't afford one right away. I did get it, I think, that spring, but I did not get it for Christmas for myself or from anybody.
It was too fancy for me.
Even though it was released in 1998, Furby was still selling like crazy. Baby Annabelle, not the horror movie.
I was gonna say, mind you, I want that doll. So
this one babbled and cried, and it slept. It might have went pee. I don't know. Maybe the odd one short-circuited and hurt some children, but that wasn't the main purpose of that doll. Bella Dancerella, pop star Spin Master, whatever the fuck that is a huge toy. Is that all one toy? Yeah, Bella Dancerella, pop star Spin Master. I think it did something. Twister Moves and anything Dora. Dora Talking Kitchen, Dora Plug and Play. Dora was big at that time.
Dora was the bane of my existence.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't like Dora?
Dora got on my nerves.
Yeah.
She was way too perky. Way too perky. My niece loved her. Loved Dora. And it got my goat so bad because my brother was the one who was responsible for actually teaching his child how to speak Portuguese, but he failed at that. But Dora succeeded in teaching my niece Spanish. She knew more Spanish. And I was like, dude, can we shut Dora up? Because I was like, backpack. I wanted to fucking punch her in the throat.
Did you see that TikTok where the girl comes in talking like Dora? Yes. And asks for a sandwich from her mom, and you just hear the knife dropping? She's doing the Dora, but it's just really condescending.
That means, can you make me a sandwich
And then the sandwich hits her right in the head. I watched that so many goddamn times. That was awesome. It's
true, though, because you were like, God damn it, Dora.
That means, can you make me a sandwich? Then just pops her in the head. Oh. Anyways, Just Friends. It opened on Wednesday, 2005 in 6th place, where it basically stayed 6, 5, 6, 7. A couple of times during the week, it would hit 3 for a few days, but that's it. It would make just over 50 million in theaters, but DVDs were still big at that time in 2005. It made over 26 million in DVD sales. So it was profitable. But for the life of me, I couldn't find a budget on this thing. So I'll just take their word that they made money because I couldn't find how much it cost to make the movie. I'm guessing it couldn't cost that much. They filmed in LA. They also filmed in Saskatchewan in the middle of winter. So there were a lot of stories about purpose? It being... Yeah, for the snow. Like all that snow and stuff is like they had... I think they made a bit of it to cover stuff, but that was like Moose Jaw. Is it Moose Jaw that's in Saskatchewan? No. Regina. Wherever they were in Saskatchewan, it was cold. Like it was, and there were a lot of stories.
In Saskatchewan, though.
Yeah, there's no trees to block the wind.
Like, it's nice out today. It's only minus 20.
Yeah. And
I'm like, no, bitch, that's not how weather works.
Yeah, God forbid there's a wind.
Oh, God.
Because Saskatchewan is just flat. No trees, no hills.
No, there's nothing to stop that wind. That wind is going to come at you fast and hard.
Yeah, the only thing that's stopping it is you.
Your tears will freeze on your face.
So it was profitable. Doing a bit of research for this movie, I found that being a Christmas movie, it made sense to release it when they did. But the competition this movie had, holy shit. Opening on the same weekend was Rent, which was a big artsy movie, and Yours, Mine, and Ours, which became a big family movie. The week before it was Walk the Line, which was huge.
Oh,
and
so good.
Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, which was astronomical. Then there was a break for a week where Harry Potter was dominating, but then Chronicles of Narnia came out, and it was huge. Like almost up there with Harry Potter. Not quite, but it was impressive. And then a week after that, Peter Jackson King Kong came out. Then Jim Carrey's Fun with Dick and Jane, which was a huge hit back then, and Cheaper by the Dozen too. So all things considered, Just Friends did all right. Like that's a lot of huge movies.
Honestly, I'm kind of like they had no chance of going any higher or doing any better. Because this was a very specific, like it's a comedy holiday movie, which is kind of a romantic comedy, we'll say. But
not even a family movie.
Yeah, it has adult themes, and then it's surrounded by family movies with
just
ginormous
tons
budgets.
and tons.
But it's also movies like Harry Potter had, fans of all ages. Chronicles of Narnia, fans of all ages because everybody read the books. So
King Kong, anyone that liked
King
Lord
Kong,
of the Rings or Peter Jackson was
done.
Or King Kong.
You know what? God bless Just Friends. They did okay.
Yeah, it did all right. All things considering, it did all right.
If we're looking at that, we're like, hey man, you did okay. I'm proud of you. Good for you, little
So now
baby.
2005, did you go to the theater and watch this, or did
I think I waited for this to come. No, wait. I went out to see it at the Varsity Theaters.
Around that time?
Because I went after work. Yep. I went after work, and I saw it a few weeks after it opened, and I loved it. But I've also had a crush on Ryan Reynolds since The Odyssey. So when he was like 13. If it helps, I was like 11. The Odyssey. It was about, so it was a Canadian TV show, right? And it was about this kid who like gets hit in the head for some reason. I don't know. But he ends up in a coma, right? So they put him in like basically like a nursing home for like a rehab center or whatever. Anyways, while he's in this coma, his mind creates a whole nother world where adults don't exist. And it's the kids who rule the world. And he's trying to make his way through this world and out of it back home to his dad for some reason. And he has to like go through it. And Ryan Reynolds plays like some general in the army or something.
Yeah, he looks like a Nazi here.
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. But I was like, ooh, you're cute. And that was the first time I saw Ryan Reynolds and I had a crush on him.
So all good looking Canadian boys were on these cheesy shows like Ryan Gosling, and he was in that school that had that school
Breaker
on
High. Breaker High. That was where my crush on him started.
Oh, so dumb.
Oh, incredibly dumb. Incredibly dumb. But every time I see one of the actors on there on a like another TV show, and I'm like, oh my God, Breaker High. And everybody's like, what? And I'm like, shh, it's a classic. It's terrible, but it's a classic. I don't know why I got so like emotionally involved with all of these characters from that show. I just wanted them to thrive.
I watched this in the theater as well. Mm-hmm. Actually, I actually went with my future wife and saw this in the theater. So I have mixed feelings.
This is the future wife that became your current wife, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't know if it was the future wife that became the non-wife.
No. Okay, so I remember laughing in the theater at this movie. I remember it being so friggin' funny. I haven't seen this movie. I bought this movie and I have this movie here in my home, but I got it for my wife for Christmas and I haven't seen it for a while. It's just one of those things where it just didn't make the rotation. I probably haven't seen it in about 10 years.
I've seen clips of it as you're flipping through the channels.
Yeah.
But I haven't sat down to watch the whole thing. in probably at least 10 years, if not 12 or 13.
Yeah.
Because I think the last time I saw it, I still thought it was super funny. But I had a sense of like, oh God, there's a word for it. There's a German word for it too, but it's like, I can't watch people be embarrassing or embarrass themselves.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because it makes me feel ill.
Yeah, this movie had a lot of it, if I remember it.
There's so much of people just making fools of themselves that like through like half the movie I was laughing, but I was like, oh, I just want to hug you. This is terrible. But I laughed.
Well, first, I remember it being freaking hilarious.
Yes.
The brother was 100% relatable and funny. Like,
one
just
of the
like with
characters ever.
Yeah, I just remember them not getting along, and Chris Klein, who I like, I just don't like all of his movies, was actually awesomely funny as the douchebag. Amy Smart was hot, but I think she was the character playing the straight character, and you need them. Like, they get kind of forgotten, but without them, the funny character is not funny. You need
Very true.
Bud Abbott's and David Spade's to Lou Costello's and Chris Farley's. They are so important. The mom was great. The girl that played the mom, and Anna Faris, who is just a genius. I don't think she's underrated. If she is, it isn't by me. She's one of the most talented comedic actors around, like Scary Movie, House Bunny, her TV show, Mom.
Yeah.
I just remember it being a comedy for me, for my age. It wasn't a family movie. It was like a Christmas movie that was funny. I remember it being somewhat vulgar, maybe a little politically incorrect.
Well, I remember some of it being borderline, where you're like, you took it just far enough. Just a little further, you're crossing a line. But right now you're just straddling the line. I remember some of those moments in there because I remember sometimes I'd be laughing and I'd be like, I shouldn't be laughing. But I kind of like those jokes.
Yeah. Okay, well, so let's go to the tail of the tape. All right, so let's first take a look at the poster. Boink, boink, share. He loves her, she loves him not. The tagline. You know who Ryan Reynolds is. And just the poster alone is funny. I can see people nowadays maybe being offended by this.
The fat suit.
Yeah.
You know what kills me? As someone who's always been big her entire life, let me rephrase that. Since puberty. Because before that, there were a few years where I was skinny. But I've been on the bigger side my entire life. And I do not take offense.
No.
When they put a skinny actress or skinny actor in a fat suit. Because I hear people complain about Monica on Friends where they're like, oh, they put her in a fat suit.
Yeah.
And then her being fat is a joke. And I'm like, yes, because it was made in the 90s when being fat was the joke. Like, it's a piece of its time. But Monica's backstory is that she used to be fat. So if we're going to do a flashback episode, they're going to put her in a fat suit.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? But there's a whole lot. But I'm like, the whole point of the story is that he used to be kind of fat, kind of nerdy. And at this time, if you were fat and nerdy in high school, you were almost a social pariah. Like, unless you were the one selling weed to the entire school, like you were the social pariah. So this fits.
Or you were just a friend. You were just a friend.
Always the friend.
Yeah.
And you say, hey, maybe we can go. Yeah, we can totally go. We'll make it a friend group thing. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's fantastic. Thanks.
Some of the other taglines were some friends are just friends. Others you get to see naked. Moments like this have been ruining friendships for centuries. 2 words a guy never wants to hear. And then he loves her. She loves him not. So those were the different taglines. For the advertising. The reviews, IMDb has about 119,000 and it's at a 6.2. which is pretty high for IMDb.
Yeah.
And Rotten Tomatoes has 109 reviews from critics, and it sits at Rotten at 42%. But with 250,000 audience scores, it's at 71%. So that's a huge difference. This is like, obviously, the audience liked this a lot more than the critics did, which that happens a lot with the movies we watch.
Yeah. But that's because sometimes I think the critics forget that the movies are made for the audience. They're not made for them.
Yeah. And this is not a critic. This is really a stupid comedy.
Formerly fat guy.
Yeah.
Goes home after he gets hot to try and get the girl. Girl's dating a douchebag. And then the crazy singer that he represents follows him, stalks him, and is awkward and weird. This was not made to be a classic.
Now, can you see that?
Yes.
God, I love my life.
You're awesome.
Those are awesome.
Music producer Chris Brander has it all.
I saw you flirting with me out there. How could you do that to your boyfriend?
We're just friends.
But in high school, things were a little different.
You mean more to me than anyone in this whole world.
Really?
I love you, Chris. Like a brother. We're friends, right? Shut up! Just leave him alone!
Oh my God!
10 years later, touring with the world's hottest pop star.
God, I want to lick your skin off.
Will take him home for the holidays.
Hi, Mom. This is my brother Mike. You're hot.
I know, I know.
Now, when he sees the girl he never forgot,
Jamie?
he's going to get a second chance
Oh my God, I can put my arms around you.
to win his first love.
Wow, Chris.
Jamie Palomino.
But it's going to be a lot harder
We're gonna be more than just friends. Mom! I need my skates to show off my talents.
You're a lot better than before.
than he ever thought.
I'm sorry, okay?
Want to fight hard? Don't worry, Chris, you're gonna be fine.
Jamie Palomino.
Dusty Dinkelman?
I can't compete with this guy. You see him play that guitar? It's like he has 15 fingers.
Nice outfit, by the way. Rock and roll.
That is so cute! I just want to eat you both up!
New Line Cinema presents
Not the same person I was in high school, pal.
You'll always be fat to me, Chris.
Ryan Reynolds, Amy Smart, Anna Faris, and Chris Klein.
How'd the big date go? It was terrible. I went in for a kiss, but she wants a hug. Then I get caught in a sort of kiss-hug-limbo type thing.
You gave her a body shake?
Just friends.
Hey, Merry Christmas, neighbor.
What do you think? Think you're going to like it?
I think I'm going to like it, but I also think it's going to make my heart hurt. Because there's so much just like secondhand embarrassment that I'm going to feel for these people. But I think I'm going to like it. I think I'm going to laugh. But I feel like I'm going to spend half the movie going, oh, sweetie. I wish you had better friends.
Yeah, looking at the trailer, I'm like, I own the goddamn movie. I don't know why I haven't watched it. Like, it comes out with my Christmas shit I think it's the kids. Fucking kids.
Yeah. God.
They can't watch that, or they won't watch that. And I'm always watching Polar Express or...
You have to watch the stuff that's family friendly because you never know when one of the little crotch goblins are going to like fucking crawl into the room. So you gotta, let's
call them what they are. They're cock blocks. Every single one of them are cock blocks.
This is true.
My 5-year-old sleeps in our bed, I think more than I do. Just crawls in there and goes to sleep. I'm like,
nice.
I hate you.
Yeah, like, this is great. Look at us having some more family time. So much family time. I think I'll like it. I think I'll have a lot of secondhand embarrassment. And I think there will be a lot of very politically incorrect stuff. A lot of very like sensitive moments.
2005 is still in that. It's still under the 2000. What was it? We talked about this. I think 2011, 2012, everything started to change a bit.
Everything became a little more socially conscious at that point. We're still in the let's just push the limits on everything.
Yeah. So, and it's rated PG-13. So it's not going to be, but that doesn't mean like there can't be cringeworthy.
Very true.
Yeah. But it does look funny. The brother still looks funny.
The brother is still
like, you'll always be fat to me. As he's sitting on his head.
Oh God. It's so crazy to think. And then it makes me a little bit sad. Because even watching Anna Faris like in this, you're just kind of like, I don't know what happened, but I feel like you're not getting the appreciation you're due for your like hilarity.
Yeah, well, she doesn't make comedies as much as she used to. Well, she did that sitcom for like 7 or 8 years, so she was doing comedy.
I just remember didn't get the chance to like get out there more, you know?
Yeah, could always blame Chris Pratt.
I blame Chris Pratt for a lot of stuff, so I'm gonna blame him for this definitely.
Because Anna Faris is very funny.
She's seriously funny. Like this embarrasses me to no end. But House Bunny is one of my favorite movies.
House Bunny was funny. Yeah. I remember it being funny. I haven't seen that in a long time either. Same with the Scary Movies.
For a few years. Oh yeah.
And I remember her being hilarious in those ones. And she was in a few. She was in Hot Chicks with Rob Schneider.
Oh.
Where the girl gets changed into Rob Schneider. Yeah.
I don't remember that, but she was in What's Your Number? I think that was where it's like talking about body counts and how many people you've slept with. It was with Chris Evans.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah. What's Your Number? I do rewatch the first 2 Scary Movies a lot.
Well, yeah, and
2 of my favorites.
They were very funny.
So funny. Oh God, those were great. I didn't really watch the rest of them, but the first 2 kill me. I love them so much. But those are the ones that like I think of.
I'm just trying to find that one movie the Hot Chick, Just Friends. She was in Friends as she's the one that carried Monica, she was and
Erica.
Yeah.
The pregnant girl.
Scary Movie 3, Lost in Translation, The Hot Chick.
She was in
Scary
Waiting?
Movie 2. She was one of the waitresses.
Oh my God. I love that movie too.
Yeah, I haven't seen that in a long time either.
Well, I'm going to watch that soon. This is fantastic. I remember loving that movie.
Yeah. I think I have the Blu-ray.
Loved.
Oops.
But it was a great movie.
So you think you're going to like it, but there's definitely going to be some moments.
Yeah. Like, I can't help it though. Like, this is why I also don't watch American Idol. This is why I haven't watched the show. The reason why I can't watch American Idol is because I feel really bad for everybody who's auditioning and is not a good singer. And they surprise you with them. So you could be watching and have like 3 fantastic singers in a row. And then all of a sudden you got someone coming out and you're like, oh God, no, sweetie, stop singing. No. Oh God. And then like, I start feeling nauseous. And so I have a feeling I'm going to have a lot of moments of just like, oh, and then I'll probably laugh through it and then I'll feel a little guilty, but it'll be funny. Like, I think this will be my journey for this movie, but I think I will like it.
Yeah. I think I'm going to like it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to this one.
I remember liking it a lot when I first saw it.
Yeah. And I remember laughing a lot, but then again, is it one of those things where, because I fell into this trap with Harold and Kumar, Christmas. Where I remember one year just laughing my ass off. And then I remember watching it a couple of years after and thinking, what the it's not as funny as I remember it.
I didn't even bother with Harold and Kumar Christmas.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
No. I haven't. And I don't think I want to either.
From the last time I watched it, I wouldn't bother.
Yeah. I still enjoy I still remember the first time I ever watched Harold and Kumar go to White Castle. I was like, I want to go to White Castle. I literally spent the entirety of the movie and then a good solid 2 hours afterwards while we watched Saw trying to convince my brother-in-law that we should go on a road trip to White Castle now. I was like, we could just look, there's one in like Michigan. We'll just drive. We'll be there in like 3 hours. We'll eat a lot of the little teeny tiny burgers and then we'll come back. It's fine. And he was like, we're not doing that. And I'm like, no, it's fine. Look, we're just going to drive. Got him close to, like, it took me like 4 hours, but he almost said yes.
All right, well, let us go and watch Just Friends.
You heard them. Movie time. Let's all go to the lobby and get ourselves a treat, and then watch a classic kick-ass movie from whenever the one we're about to watch was made.
I had to get rid of the Snoopy cup. It's not a drinkable cup.
God damn it.
By the time I was done, before we went to watch Just Friends, there was so much coffee on the table because it would just spill out everywhere. So no more Snoopy cup. Oh, right. All right. Just Friends post-watch. Oh, okay. Wait. First, oh yeah, shit. First I have to say, when I ran through the top toys of 2005, the Bella Dancerella Popstar Spin Master was wrong. The toy was actually called Bella Dancerella Popstar and was made by Spin Master Toy Company. Because I remember you're like, is that the name of the Spin Master? Oh, did you?
Yeah. I thought about being a production coordinator there. And then I was like, nah, I'm good. Thanks. I'm going to keep working where I work. It's fine.
Oh, you could have been making toys.
I honestly, yeah. I could have been making toys. But I was like, I don't want to.
Okay, Just Friends. Were you surprised at how politically incorrect it was? Because I was. I totally forgot.
I forgot too. I thought like Ryan Reynolds in a fat suit was the worst it was gonna get. And then
it got so much worse. So much worse.
Like, this is just terrible. It's terrible.
Oh, and if you are super woke, I don't know if you would have been able to get past the first 10 minutes of this movie.
I have never like all of it was just like all I could think of was every piece of like feminist literature on why the nice guy is not actually the nice guy and he's actually just a predator. And I was like, this movie's just about predators.
But he was an admitted predator. Like he admitted it right at the beginning. He was a predator.
Yes, I'm only her friend, so I guess.
But I'm sure there were people like me that laughed and laughed like privileged heterosexual white men. This movie was so bad.
Oh God, I had so many moments, and also like literally the first like 10 to 15 minutes. I need to say this in my heart. I'm like, why is he even friends with this Jamie girl? She is the shittiest person in the world. She is not a friend. She's an asshole.
Which makes the interesting, like, okay, I'm jumping way ahead. That whole speech with Dusty,
yes,
made a bit of sense. Like, as douchey as he was, it made a little bit of sense. You kind of felt, or at least you kind of felt where he was coming from.
I was like, Jesus Christ, she actually, because look, I am one of the few self-proclaimed feminist women who actually hold credit to the friend zone, because I do think, because I have done this, I'm very sorry, men that I have known. When I meet someone, if I'm not sexually, I immediately put you in the front, and then I never think about you in a sexual way ever again.
Yep.
That you're my friend. And I'm like, and I understand that. However, watching this movie, I was like, you you make plans with someone and then you just bring along another guy, but then you wonder why he's not making a move on you. And you're like, but I'm throwing myself at him. No, you're just standing in front of him. That's not throwing yourself as Anna Faris. Her character's throwing herself.
Yeah. And I think that's why I don't know if it was intentional, but I think that's why you were able to feel for Ryan Reynolds' character and even Dusty's character. And you know what I mean? Like they didn't come off as complete predators.
Yeah. Dusty's angry rant, when he goes on his angry rant about like, well, fuck.
Okay, wait.
Fuck me. Okay, we'll get there.
There's so much.
There's so much to unpack in this.
And I don't know if you and I are going to be on the same page of this movie, but we'll find out.
We're going to find out very soon. Let me tell you.
So your first, okay, I'll go first this time. My first initial thoughts, I did love it. I mean, I laughed. I mean, I genuinely laughed out loud. And maybe I shouldn't have at some point, but I did at things I shouldn't have. Things there were a couple cringeworthy a couple.
Yes.
But some of those cringeworthy things made me laugh. And then it's kind of like, uh-oh, should I laugh at that? So this is a mixed bag for me.
Yes, hit me.
How was your first initial thoughts?
Look, I'm not saying I will ever watch this movie again. However, what I am saying is that I'm not opposed to watching this movie again. Because my initial thoughts are, this is a giant bag of fucked up. But there's some funny in this fucked up.
That's... Because I found it. And I don't remember it. And I have a theory on that. We'll get to that. So that's our initial thoughts. Here's the pros, my pros. Mm-hmm. Even if you hate it, something we're trying to say something positive. It's a Christmas movie. Mm-hmm. And watching it, and I don't know if being caught off guard and not seeing it in so long, it was a fucking hilarious Christmas movie. And I don't know if it should be as funny as it should have, but there were a lot of great comedic performances. It actually made me want to watch Anna Faris, like we were talking about House Bunny and Hot Chick, and Ryan Reynolds, like The Proposal. But it was a hilarious movie. Mm-hmm. How about your pros?
My pro is Ryan Reynolds. He's always, not just because he's pretty, although let me tell you, that is a serious silver lining. I'm going to be real. But this isn't even his like super pretty stage. Like he's just pretty in this. He doesn't get to like sexy pretty until later in his life. But like now he's just straight sexy. But like he's pretty here. But his performance, he has such great comedic timing.
Yeah. I think this,
so fucking good. And that's where half of it comes from. Like his instincts, his comedy instincts are so on point that no matter what the scene is, you're never sitting there going, this is bad. You know, like even if the scene is, you're like, this is not aged well, you can still be like, that face, or, you know, just the right like pause between words. And you're like, yes. So that was my pro, Ryan Reynolds.
My cons was, there was some slightly offensive jokes. How about your cons?
I feel in my heart that the idea for this movie came from a guy who was a virgin until he was 25.
Could be. Yeah, I'd buy that.
And he hated every girl that he went to high school with. That's what I feel in my heart. I could be wrong. My con is just, it's so, don't get me wrong, like the description or the depiction of relationships between men and women, so stereotypical So like textbook of just like, hey, remember that douche you dated in high school, man or woman, just whatever douche it was. Here, we're putting them all in the same movie.
Yeah.
I was like, there's like even the two friends who were just friends in high school, then they get married and they have a kid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it felt a little played out. That was my con.
Okay.
There are many other cons, but that was my main con.
Well, I'm sure we'll get to them. We're going to go through the synopsis, the plot. In 1995, Chris Brander, an obese high school senior, is secretly in love with his classmate and best friend, Jamie Palomino. Okay, first, when the wording New Jersey 1995 came up, and I swear the name of the song. Is that the name of the song?
That is the name of the song by All For One.
Yeah, and it started to play.
4, like the number.
It all started to come back to me. First, the memories of my date with my future wife doing unimaginable sexual things to me in the movie theater, where I had to tell her to stop.
I would really like to not imagine that. Thank you.
Yeah, don't ask her about it though. She'll never collaborate that story. But no, I totally remember what was coming of Ryan Reynolds in the fat suit and lip syncing, and I was already giggling. And then he popped up.
Okay, but can we just talk about why that's funny? It's not even the fat suit. It's the look of sincerity on his face. It's how into it he is.
Yeah.
It's the love in his eyes.
Yeah.
I seduced that mirror.
And I believed him.
Yes.
And then when his little brother catches him singing, I know you're not supposed to laugh at it, but when he says, what did he say? Hands up if your brother's a homo, and he throws both his hands up, I started laughing, and I'm like, oh, and it still didn't hit me how much was to come, and how
offensive that is.
Yeah.
But still you laugh because you know what? Here's the difference. Both you and I were teenagers in 1995.
Yeah.
We understand that was just normal part of the culture.
That was normal talk to your friends.
That was normal talk to your friends. We didn't know enough then to realize that's a shitty thing to say.
Yeah, and I've said this before, if there were gay people around, we didn't mean it as you're homosexual. We meant gay as lame. That doesn't mean some gay kid knew what we meant. They just heard what we said, and it might have been hurtful. And that kind of really bums me out. But yeah, we never used, it wasn't gay, but it was a different time. Now I feel like an old person defending myself.
No, but here's the thing. You know better now.
Yes.
So you wouldn't say it now.
No.
Now, if you knew better and you
not on a mic during a podcast, no, of course not. But no, we are older, and
we are older. Like, we remember when this was normal, just part of the vernacular, and then we learned, and we were like, "Oh shit, we were hurting people's feelings by saying that." I never because you didn't say it with that intent, but as they always like to say, your intent doesn't matter. What matters is the impact. So we didn't realize what the impact was. We know better now. We're not saying it now. But how many of us, when we were 15, 16, 17 in the 90s, either said something was gay or, you called someone a homo because, for me, it was like your female friend gives her boyfriend some flowers and he gets all like teary eyed. You're like, God, you're such a homo.
Yeah.
Because you're showing emotions. What the fuck?
Yeah.
But we know now that, God, that's hitting on gender stereotypes and sexual stereotypes. And it's just, it's a shitty thing to say.
Yeah.
We know this now. So we're not going to say it now.
And in the movie, it did come from what I'm guessing, like a 9-year-old kid.
Yeah. It came from a young kid who grows up to be an even bigger douchebag, but a funny douchebag, but a douchebag nonetheless. But I mean, that's also in 2005.
Yeah.
That was still kind of the language that was being used. Like, it was phasing out at that point.
And I will get to that because, yeah, I think I believe the movie got that, but we'll get there. Okay, so.
But wait, before we exit this, I will say when Ryan Reynolds says, "Get out of my room," and he does that little, like, step forward thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's gonna, I laughed really hard at that.
Yeah.
I was like, you can't even be imposing. God bless. Go.
Okay, so confessing his feelings by writing in her yearbook, he attends the graduation party. Well, it was just supposed to be the four of the friends, but it turned out to be that big party, surprise party. As he returns Jamie's yearbook, it is swapped with her ex-boyfriend Tim, who reads the declaration aloud to everyone, humiliating Chris. Before that whole scene of Jamie and Chris alone, like her flipping over and you see her pants.
Yeah.
And she's blowing on his stomach and she's acting like he's a friend, but he's uncomfortable because she's like on his crotch.
Yeah. I have a lot of male friends. I had a lot of male friends when I was in high school too. Ask me if I ever did any of that.
Did you do any of that?
No. No. Not unless I wanted them to touch me in my no-no spots. That's all I'm saying.
But he's uncomfortable because he sees her panties, blah, 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 and she's all up in his crotch, touchy. And don't forget, we are introduced to Dusty Dinkelman at that point, who is even worse off than Chris. And then when Chris Reynolds realizes that he has the wrong yearbook and turns in slow-mo and does the oh no. I don't remember, was it played in slow-mo or did he just do it overdrive?
This is Tim's yearbook.
Chris?
Oh my God! Listen to this!
I think he just did it over dramatically. I don't remember slow-mo, but I remember that.
And then the guy's reading it to everybody.
God.
They were quite mean, the other students.
Which, let me tell you, very accurate for the time.
After kissing him on the cheek, Jamie admits she does not reciprocate his affections. He leaves the party in tears, announcing he will never return and vowing to be more successful than anyone else. The whole part of him admitting it and going in for the kiss, but Jamie kisses his cheek and
says that she loves him like a brother.
Yeah. But when the curtains or the blinds go up and it's Tim and the other people there and they all just start laughing.
I love you, Chris. Like a brother. We're friends, right?
For sure.
I did laugh at that part.
I did not laugh, but that's also because I will tell you this in a hot second. There's a word for this in German. And yes, I looked it up. But I want to point out that up until that point, Jamie is the worst friend.
Yeah.
Ever. Does not defend him once. Does not tell any, like, she's like, come on, guys. Come on, no. And I'm like,
well, she did say leave him alone.
Yeah, leave him alone. Excuse me? If that's your friend, you're kicking the people. If that's your best friend, your BFF, you kick them out of your house because it's her house. So that was the point where I was like, you're just a shitty person. Why does he love you? I don't understand. It's just because you're blonde and cute, right? But the word in German, this is why I did not laugh when the curtains opened, is Fremdschammen. It's when you feel uncomfortable or awkward because another person has created an embarrassing situation.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I have this in spades. So every time something embarrassing happens to someone else, I feel so uncomfortable.
That whole 10 minutes must have been just torture for you.
It was the worst. I was like, oh, I felt this way through most of this movie. The majority of this movie, which I think really affected how much I enjoy, like my enjoyment level of it. Like, I really think this is mostly it because I was like, I can't watch. It was, but anyway, I tried though. I was doing this a lot of the time.
Because when she shoots him down and then the thing goes up and they're like, ah, and they're like,
I literally wanted to throw up.
Oh.
Literally. I couldn't handle it. I wanted to hug Ryan Reynolds. It's like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. She's terrible. They're terrible. They're all terrible.
So 10 years later, a womanizing Chris has lost weight, lives in Los Angeles as a highly successful record producer and vice president of the company. We're introduced to his boss, KC, which is played by the always freaking awesome Stephen Root, News Radio, Office Space, Dodgeball,
Yes.
Bill Dauterive from King of Hill, and so much more. And I just wish there was more of him. But the whole setup from chubby nerd to the hot douche was kind of funny because he's not, he's not a nice person. Like, and they show it and he admits it. He's not a nice person. Like he's just, before Christmas, company CEO Casey asked him to accompany emerging self-obsessed pop singer Samantha James to Paris so she signs with their label, and Chris reluctantly complies. She wants a relationship with him, but he has no interest after their only date previously led to his hospitalization. So we're introduced to Anna Faris' character, Samantha James. I said it before, she's a comedic genius, and she did not disappoint.
Nope. She's perfect. She's absolutely perfect.
Oh, side note, that poster of her with the whipped cream, Miss Faris actually did that poster complete with actual whipped cream on her boobs to make it as real and authentic looking as possible, and did not want it photoshopped. So that was her commitment to the character.
That's a lot of commitment. Good for her.
Wait, we're live, so here we go.
Good job, Miss Faris. We appreciate you. Thank you.
On the way to Paris, Samantha accidentally sets the private jet on fire, causing an emergency landing. Foil.
Okay, who's the genius behind this?
The container said microwavable.
But the aluminum foil wasn't.
Well, I'm not supposed to worry about stuff like that. I'm the talent. Hey, wait a minute. Am I being punked? Where's Ashton?
In the microwave. Yes.
And she stands up for herself, and that whole scene where before the jet and she's like on top of him and like really aggressive and sits, and then is so sidetracked by showing him the new song that she's playing it, and Ryan Reynolds is sitting there and his pants are by his knees and they just slowly drop to his ankles as she's playing the song. I don't know if they meant to do that, but
I don't know if they meant to do it either, but it's perfect.
Oh,
it's perfect.
So now they're in Chris's hometown. Chris takes Samantha to his mother's for the night and re-engages with his teenage past, including his unresolved feelings for Jamie. She meets his mother and 18-year-old brother, Mike, a huge fan of Samantha's, who is infatuated with her. I knew this going in, but the interaction between Reynolds and Marquette, I think that's how you pronounce his last name, Marquette, had to be one of my favorite things about this movie. Oh, and I forgot how often, I thought it was just that one time, how often they attacked each other.
Honestly, it was a very typical brothers relationship.
Yes. Yeah.
Very, very typical. And it was hilarious.
It was so good. Like when he tells him he needs a favor and he's a favor and he's saying, screw you. And he sits on him.
Hey. Wake up. Morning.
What?
I'm not the same person I was in high school, pal.
You'll always be fat to me, Chris. What do you want from me?
But that's how brothers talk to each other. So
yes.
I was like, yeah, accurate.
Yeah. And I wrote that down. These were things you actually did to your brother or sister. Maybe I didn't have a sister. Even your close friends growing up in the 80s and 90s, you slapped, you tortured by spitting or licking your fingers, wet willy in the ear. Like it's just what you did. Like now a kid would probably have to go through therapy if this happened to them, but 80s and 90s. Yeah,
because in the 80s and 90s, he went through all of this, and now you go to therapy today.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing. you go to therapy now to deal with the childhood trauma of your brother wanting the remote, so you curl up into yourself and turn yourself into a little ball like an armadillo.
So you try,
and then as he's trying to like unwind you, he can't, so he picks you up and body slams you onto the floor, and then you still have to hold that little ball if you want to stay watching.
Slap the forehead.
If you want to watch Gem and the Holograms, you have to hold on to that.
And which was weird because by the time you were done or got the remote or gave up, the fucking show was over.
Yep. 100%. And then he still got to watch wrestling, which is fine because I watch the wrestling too, but I mostly watch, well, anyways, that's besides the point. We're not going to talk about my childhood trauma anymore.
We could, like, how did that make you feel?
About it now. Oh, there are lots of feelings, let me tell you. This is why I pay so much money every other week.
Okay, so at the local bar, Chris encounters some old classmates, including his best friend Clark and his wife Darla. I did have one con that I didn't say, and it's a complaint. It was the underutilization of Fred Ewanek, who played his part from Corner Gas.
Yeah.
Played his part fine as the best friend, but he is such a great comedic actor. They could have done more with him.
I think that's those two characters, Clark and Darla, feel like they just kind of threw them away. I'm like, they could have been so much more utilized throughout the entire movie.
And he was a dentist.
Yeah.
Even in Friends, when Jennifer Aniston goes to see her ex-husband or whatever, and he's a dentist, they made that comedic.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, there were ways to use those two characters and they didn't, which upset me. Because I'm like, these are the two friends that knew about his crush in high school.
Yeah.
Encouraged him to act on his crush.
Yeah.
And now what? They just kind of, every once in a while, he goes to just Clark and like unloads. Yeah. And then all Clark says is, go for it. You're like, anyways.
Yeah, because with all the different avenues of comedy in this movie where you have, but maybe that was the problem. Maybe there was so much that they didn't want to.
I think that was untapped potential.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And that is another great thing about Reynolds and this movie is that it wasn't afraid to share the laughs other than with those two characters. But it wasn't all Reynolds. He had a lot, but like his brother, Anna Faris, Chris Klein, and just
his mom,
Tim, the ex-boyfriend, just other characters that had one line or something where everyone was giving comedy. So it's kind of weird that they didn't do that for the other two. Okay, so he also sees Jamie working as a bartender to pay for graduate school for teaching. Then we see Tim, the ex. He's all bald and drunk. That was awesome. Oh, and he asked for $5.
Yeah. And then he's like, here's your money.
Yeah, here's your money, bitch.
Hey, you got $5 I can, like, have?
Yeah. You keep living the dream, Tim.
Done. Bye-bye now. Class of 95.
Class of 95.
Here's your money, bitch.
I don't know who he's talking to or why. He
just turns around, starts walking away, yells that out. Like, it's fantastic. I've seen men like you in small town bars.
Yep.
It's amazing.
So Chris asked Mike to keep Samantha busy during his date with Jamie, but realizing their platonic friendship is important to him hampers his plan for them to have sex. Okay, so the date, the pancakes, even picking up Jenny, we see her dad, which leads to another politically incorrect joke. In defense, I guess it was 2005. I mean, come on, the iPhone wasn't even invented.
Yeah, no. Look, we give a lot of leeway to movies made in the 90s and the 2000s.
Yeah.
And like up until I'd say probably late 2000s, that's a good chunk of movies where you're not always going to get, people who are aware of how words work.
No.
Like they're just going to say things.
Yeah.
And you have to be aware of that and just kind of accept it.
Yeah, don't watch movies from like the 40s and 50s.
Oh, God, no.
They would have heart attacks.
The first time they see, what is it, Alec McGuinness as a Japanese man?
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I watched it. I was like, yo, this movie's really great, but you could have had a Japanese man do it. I'm just saying. Japanese actors exist.
Or
Even
white
back in the
actors
60s.
playing Native Americans.
Oh, yeah.
And,
That's a classic. Yeah. Yeah.
But you can't hate on the movie for... that's a different topic.
That's a different podcast.
Yeah. But yeah, for 2005, like there's no TikTok, no Instagram. We were on MySpace.
Oh, yeah, no, I wasn't even on Facebook yet.
Facebook was just getting into its groove.
Literally just became a thing.
Yeah, in 2004. So it might not even had its groove yet. But there was no one was educated enough or had moral superiority to tell us what we could or could not laugh at.
Well,
it was a free-for-all.
Nobody looked at the social implications of this stuff, or at least nobody looked that deeply.
No.
We were still like super in the waves of like at that point, like feminism was just starting to get a lot of mainstream kind of like feminism was always there, but it was still kind of sneered at in the 80s. Yep. The 80s was very anti-feminism. Like, let's be real. Yeah, sure. They had the really cute suits for the women, the business women with the shoulder pads. Ooh, look at her go. Working girl was the thing. But I mean, for the most part, like most women really thought they were just going to get married and then stop working because they were going to have babies. Mm-hmm. Like, and lifelong career women, everybody felt kind of sorry for them because they were like,
yeah,
you didn't want to have babies.
Poor thing.
And so we weren't really there. So 90s, we're still not. There's been a social evolution. We'll say that.
Yeah. Then Chris sets up a plan to stay another day after the first date fails. Now, during a friend...
Wait, can we talk about the first date?
Yeah.
Because this is also going into my column of Jamie is the worst person ever. The woman brings a stack of pancakes covered in chocolate syrup and candy to poor Chris. And Chris is like, this is not going to work for me. And she's all like, just eat the pancakes.
Yeah.
And I would fucking lose my mind because I'd be like, are you telling me what to eat? Because the man literally says, I haven't had sugar in 10 years.
Yeah, in 2005, I think it was relevant.
Sick. Yeah. I was like, I was angry for him. I was like, don't tell him what to eat.
Yeah.
He doesn't want pancakes.
He doesn't want pancakes. And that, I don't know if that's one of the things I was kind of confused at. Were they doing it on purpose or was this by mistake? Because it happened quite often. And it made me think that maybe this was to make us like, they didn't want her to be just the girl next door. She's perfect. Because it really made you kind of feel sorry for the other characters. Like, yeah, he was a douche and he was saying that, but
100%.
It was kind of a lot of the stuff he was saying. There was some justification behind it. Like, I don't want your fucking pancakes. There must be 8,000 calories on that plate.
Well, because it's also one of those things where I'm like, you see, also so much angry because I'm like, she wasn't attracted to him at all. He was a brother.
Yeah.
In high school. All of a sudden, he's skinnier and wearing
muscular, wearing a suit.
Now, all of a sudden, he's sexy and she wants to have sex with him.
Yeah, shame on her.
But I was like, okay, but even then, she's not talking about dating him throughout this entire. She's just talking about getting some.
Yeah.
He's the one that's like, I couldn't sleep with her because the friendship means too much. She didn't have those qualms.
No, and that's what I mean. Was it did they do this by mistake or was it on purpose?
I'm starting to think this might have been written by an incel. I'm not even joking right now.
Because if that's the case, there are layers there, and it's quite smart then. Like or smarter than it appeared.
Honestly, if that's the case, God bless, because there's a lot of layers. But I was like, I don't understand why everybody's flocking to, like, don't get me wrong, she's cute.
Yeah, she's cute.
She's cute. But she occasionally substitute teaches. She works as a bartender. She's doing nothing else with her life.
Yeah, she's not really a trophy.
Like, she's not doing, like, she's not the greatest conversationalist either. Like, through this entire thing, I'm just like, what? I don't, Why is everybody really, really trying to get with you? Anyway.
Well, yeah, we find that out. During a friendly ice skating day date, again, Chris is taken away in an ambulance after injuring himself during a hockey game with Jamie and the trio of kids who dislike him. That whole scene was awesome. Like how mad he got about the skates and couldn't show off, and the kids playing dirty. And it was slapstick comedy played violently and hilariously.
He hacked me!
Want to fight, Pop?
Kidding me?
All right, break it up. What is your problem? She's just a child.
That's a girl?
Pussy.
Yes, I will give you that. That was a great scene because you could see it. Every time she's like, "It's okay, Chris. Sure, you're a great skater."
And he's like, "No, I really am. I'm an MVP."
I am. And he's like, like that was hilarious because I'm like, dude, that's such like an alpha male thing to do. It's like, no, I'm gonna prove it.
Yeah,
I don't care if I have to body check 8-year-olds.
Yeah, hockey sticks to the shin, punch to the balls, puck to the mouth. And when he loses his shit and body checks the kid and punches the one in the helmet to get her out of the way, that was awesome.
That's fantastic.
Then we're introduced. Jamie's reunited with Dusty Dinkelman, a paramedic and former high school classmate, also in love with her. Just Reynolds' reaction to, or Chris's reaction to the whole Jamie and Dusty thing unfolding right in front of him.
Yeah.
With him injured and his mouth all blood. Was from him going down the hill and landing face first on the ice to them flirting in the ambulance. Because it seems like she was flirting with him.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
She was flirting with him. Yeah. She was totally flirting with him. 100%. Wow. While her best friend that she also wants to sleep with.
Yeah. Is
laid up with like a bloody mouth. No, but it's fine. It's fine. Let's go flirt with Dusty directly above him. I'm like, you're the worst person ever.
The next night, Chris goes to Jamie's Christmas party to express his feelings for her, but Dusty is already there, charming everyone on guitar. Okay, so the plot skims over all the little brother Mike and Samantha interactions, taking her to the mall and tasing her by accident.
Dude.
Giving her his mother's Vicodin with...
Okay, she's got a bit of a headache. It's not that bad. Ha!
Oh my God! What the hell happened to her?
Long story short, she fell. Samantha, are you okay? Dude, she's fine. Look at her. She's having a good time. She's got her toothpaste. All you had to do was watch her for a few hours. What did you do to her? Nothing. She's all loopy from all the Vicodin. Where did you get the Vicodin? Mom.
And then she's trying to make out with Ryan Reynolds with all that toothpaste in her mouth. Mike is supposed to be taking her to the coffee shop open mic, but takes her to the medal challenge. And they're calling her all these names, and she gets mad and leaps into the crowd. The massage scene.
Yes. Oh my God.
It was friggin' hilarious.
More. That's enough.
Her character and his character was so good.
Both great.
Back at Chris's, Samantha ambushes Mike, demanding he reveal Chris's location. He refuses until she gives him a kiss. The whole part of Mike just selling out his brother after she kisses him was awesome. Yep. Like how quickly, at first he's like, "I'll never tell you anything." Then she gives him tongue, and he's like, he's over.
Where's Chris?
I'll never tell you anything. He's with his lover.
But the best part is he's in the car as it crashes through the yard, and he's like, "She forced it out of me."
Yeah, screaming, "Run!"
The dig is up!
You son of a bitch!
Samantha, you're here! Shit!
There she is!
She figured it out. You're sitting there going, you're in the car with her.
Well, she probably needed directions.
Yeah, I mean,
this whole time throughout, Mike and Chris, and we also go back to like Miss and Chris are violently hurting each other. I want to know if they actually got hurt during filming this movie.
There must have been something. Must have been some injuries because you can't. The way they were literally, someone slipped at some point. This was not well choreographed fights.
No, where he tripped him, it looked like his head might have gone into the couch. I would love to watch him make. Oh,
does it have bloopers?
I don't know. Blooper reel, deleted scenes, alternate ending. Behind the scene featurette, Jamie Smiles music video, feature length comment. Actually, that might be something I want to listen to. The commentary.
Listen to the commentary. Also, in the alternate ending, I need to know. Does Chris come to his senses and tell Jamie to fuck off?
I didn't even realize that at the blooper reel. I'm sure there had to be a lot of where they just could not keep a straight face.
I want to know what bloopers there are with the mom.
Yeah,
the character.
Oh, we're about to get to one of the funniest scenes and one of the worst scenes, but where I believe that the filmmakers actually have been doing this on purpose the whole time. Okay, we'll get there. Okay. So, where are we? In a rage, she drives to Jamie's, crashing through her fence and destroying the Christmas decorations. Chris returns home in embarrassment and Jamie follows. She tells him she is not mad, and they end up spending the night catching up and reminiscing. However, due to Chris's continued lack of assertion, they end up just sleeping and nothing happens. He came out more of the good guy in this scene. Or am I wrong?
Yeah. No, he totally did.
Because she was like, we can do it. And he was like, nah, he wanted more. He wanted.
Okay, let me explain the scene to you, my friend. And why it half made me angry and half made me very proud of my Chris. So Chris obviously came in with the goal of just sleeping with Jamie. He's like, I'm going to sleep with her and then I'm going to jet out to Paris. But then he was like, we're in bed together. I'm all cuddled up. I'm about to make my move. And he's like, I can't do it because the friendship means too much to me. She means too much to me. And I'm like, that's fucking beautiful. Look at you being a responsible adult.
Yep.
Jamie is like, I wore this sexy white shirt. By the way, it was blue. It's fine. I was like, that wasn't a white shirt. Or it was striped. It was blue striped.
Yeah.
I was like, fine. But she's like, I did the cold thing. I was throwing myself at him. I was like, that is not throwing yourself at him. And as soon as he like uncuddled from you, you did nothing else.
Yeah.
So now she's mad at him for not taking up the throw. I was like, you are so ambiguous and so like abstract in your throwing yourself. Nobody would know. If she did that to me, I would have no idea she wanted to sleep with me. None whatsoever. So Chris was the absolute good guy who obviously had a soul at this point. And I was like, good for you. And her, she's still a terrible person because now she's all mad that he didn't take her up on her, like, so undercover hints that she wants to sleep. Nobody could have figured it out. Nobody. Mind readers couldn't have figured it out because it was so subtle. Sorry, I'm one of those people. You can't gently hint things at me. You have to say it out loud with the correct words.
Yeah.
Directness is what I need.
Yeah.
She was all super undercover with, I did the cold feet thing. Bitch, there are people in this world who actually have cold feet, and that's all they want. They want to warm up their feet. Okay, I'm done now.
But he did say in his head that her feet weren't even cold. She obviously wants. Yeah. But yeah, and that's why I don't think this movie was by mistake. I think they meant to do it in this certain way.
I think, very honestly, it was a kind of growth thing for him,
mm-hmm.
where it's like you know, he realizes that his feelings are still there. He actually has feelings for her. He can't be the like hit it and quit it with her because, you know, it's deeper and he values her too much as a person. I do believe that that is maybe where this movie started. I think that was like the starting like tagline, and they're like, let's build from there. I did not realize
the plot even says almost like not the same, not as in detail as you do, but the next day Jamie speaks with Darla about the night before while Chris goes to Clark for advice. Jamie admits that while they are just friends, she tried to show Chris she is interested more. Clark tells Chris that the timing wasn't right and their history hinders him. Outside the office, Chris and Clark catch Dusty singing to a nurse and then kissing her. Dusty reveals his plans to have sex with Jamie and humiliate her in a way he felt she humiliated him in high school when he was attracted to her. Like, he goes from nice guy to 100 miles an hour douchebag. First off, Chris Klein pulls it like he does it awesomely, but you kind of understand where he's coming from. Well,
okay.
Not that I agree. You don't have to agree with, but there is some.
I don't agree with it, but I also don't understand how he really thought, like, okay, I kind of understand because you know what? She invites him over to like his family or her family's house and he does the sing along thing.
Yes, I understand
like,
that.
You know, there's lots of like interactions, but I'm like, dude, the first time after they see each other is like outside of the over top of Chris while he's bleeding from his mouth. It's at the movies to go see The Notebook.
And we're getting that.
Yeah. And he introduces and he brings Chris's mom with them. And I was sitting there and I was like, I understand the move. Like he's sliding in there like very low key.
Yeah.
And he thinks he's going to hit it. I can kind of see where she's coming from too. But also it's a weird thing. Cause I'm like, nobody should have thought anybody was going to get anything.
No.
Like nobody should have thought it anywhere. Also, you don't tell someone that you're just friends with them in a public crowded bar. Just, it's not okay.
Well, the movie scene was frigging hilarious.
Oh God, that was great.
When Chris Klein, Dusty, and Jamie are crying and holding hands, and then Chris's mom is crying and holds his
hand. But the best part is,
he's looking at her, and then he's looking at his mom's hand. He's like, yeah, he's like, what the fuck?
Well, he just watches. But I'm going to say this. Once again, in the column of Jamie is a terrible person, Jamie reaches for Dusty's hand.
Yes.
It wasn't Dusty reaching for her hand. She reaches for his.
Yeah.
So I'm like, how the fuck are you going to do this? And then you're the one that invited Dusty on this day. You want to sleep with Chris, but you invite Dusty to go to the movies to watch Notebook with you?
But it was a genius.
Oh no, that entire scene was amazing.
For Dusty to invite the mom, and that scene was so funny. And then when Ryan Reynolds or Chris, the character Chris, is looking around at everyone crying, he's like, oh my, this is so gay. And then he sees the two gay guys holding each other and then kissing, and he has this look of he shouldn't have said what he said. So that there are a bunch of those moments where it makes me think that yes, they used the bad language, but they were aware that it was wrong. Like when he goes to pick up Jamie for the first time and the dad sees how much weight he loses. And he's like, what? I can't even say it on here, but he uses the R word like that Jared kid from Subway.
Yeah.
And, but
when he said that, I was like,
yeah. But it's coming from such an unlikable character. It almost seems like they wanted it to come from that character on purpose. And that's why I think the movie is very self-aware. But yeah, Chris Klein was perfect. I wish he did more movies like that and not like fucking Rollerball.
We all wish that. But yeah, no, from this entire, like, I think this is one of the few movies where I actually think Chris Klein was gave a really great performance.
Yeah. Yeah, he was great.
He was so good in this. So good. So good. Perfect. There's so much in this movie. I think this movie really is about people who kind of let high school rule their life for 10 years. And this is when they just kind of start moving out of it. Maybe that's why we don't see a lot of Clark and Darla, because they seem to be the only people who are well adjusted.
Yeah. And no fun.
Everybody else, I'm having an epiphany here. Everybody else that we focus on in this movie is stuck in 1995.
Yep.
And everything that made their life then.
Yeah, and are horrible people. Not horrible, but have very horrible
some of qualities. Them are just horrible. Yeah. No, Jamie's horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Chris tries to warn Jamie, but instead attacks Dusty in front of her. She refuses to listen when he tries to explain. Consequently, he gets drunk and goes to the bar after he gets kicked out of the bus. Finding her there with Dusty, when she gently declines Dusty's sexual advance, he storms out. Chris and Jamie get into another fight where he blames her for keeping him in the friend zone, and he says she will never amount to anything. Jamie slaps him. You slap like a girl. Then she punches him, lays him out. That whole where she says to Dusty, like, no, I'm not attracted to you all. And he's like, what are you talking about? And then he gets all mad and like, whatever, bitch, I'm out.
Then he goes like super douchebag, and you're like, there you are.
Yeah, and slaps that girl on the ass, and the guy's looking at him. He's raises his fist, like, what are you going to do?
He's like, yeah. And you're like, yes, man. There you are. I see you.
Upon returning to Los Angeles and rejecting Samantha's continued advances when she sees him again. Okay, that kind of blows over this whole... Just when you think Samantha couldn't become any more of a psycho, they pull one more straitjacket out of a hat. I mean, that fight with the taser was so awesome.
Yeah.
Like as she's electrocuting him and he finally is able to grab her and they're both getting electrocuted.
I'll call it.
Ouch. Why don't you like me?
This is hard to answer with a taser.
This is about Santa's little whore, isn't it? Oh, yeah, it's go time.
Like, I feel bad, man. I feel like someone should really put her into therapy, Samantha, because I'm like, girl, you don't need to do this. Look within yourself, find some dignity. It's okay. But at the same time, Anna Faris does it so well.
Oh, God. Yeah.
She's fantastic. God.
Chris realizes that Jamie is his one and only true love. He returns to New Jersey, declares his love to her, and they kiss. While the three kids from the hockey game earlier watch and discuss, one of the boys hands a girl a cookie. The girl gives it to the other boy she likes. She calls the boy who gave her the cookie a friend. He replies the bestest before realizing he was put in the friend zone. Then Ryan Reynolds sings the whole I Swear song in his fat suit.
Which we love.
So for what would you say for people who haven't seen this in a while but remember liking the movie?
Oh God, I don't even know what to say.
Oh yeah, no, sorry, I'm going for it. Oh, sorry. Okay. All right. You think about it.
Yeah. No, because I mean, how do you say it? Never mind. I figured it out. Don't do it. Don't do it. They're all terrible people. This movie made me so uncomfortable.
For people who remember liking this movie, okay, you are correct. It is still hilariously funny, but it has some cringe moments.
So much cringe.
But I don't believe it's meant to be hurtful. It doesn't make these parts right, but it was usually from characters who were not that great of people and meant to show them as crude and disrespectful and inconsiderate. For those who haven't seen it, if fat suits and unpopular language from a movie creeping up on 20 years old easily offend, you might want to steer clear of this movie.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're super sensitive to other people's feelings, don't watch this movie.
No.
This is not the movie for you.
No. And yeah. But like I said, even that when they were watching The Notebook and Chris says this is so gay, and then he sees the gay guys kissing and he realizes that his comment was out of place. It was quite forward for a movie that's creeping up on 20.
I guarantee you that probably came up in the rewrites.
Could have, yeah.
Because chances are, once they got through the first few drafts and just before they were about to go to production, they were like, the studio probably said, let's see if we can soften the blow.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can just soften the blow. And they put in a few things that kind of, where you're like, yeah, because when the R word is used, it's the loud, boisterous, straight up rude, like father. And everybody knows old people don't know shit. So they're just going to say whatever comes on their mind. So there's a little bit of like forgiveness for that because you're like, he doesn't know any better. This is how people thought in 2005. Please, everybody, don't get angry. Because now there's usually some like 15-year-old standing next to him being like, you can't say that.
Yeah.
That is not okay. Why would you say that? So, but back then, nobody was checking anybody on anything.
No.
We were just looking at you, and if we disagreed with what you were saying, 9 times out of 10, we were just like, we're just not going to hang out anymore.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. But also, it wasn't that present in the social atmosphere. It wasn't that much of a discussion back then. So a lot of us were still very not informed. But I think just before production, maybe about a month, 2 weeks before production, the studio was like, can we get politically correct writers to just kind of soften some of the sharp edges on this? And that's why you have the gay couple who kisses and then the face with the, oh, I shouldn't have said that. Or,
makes you wonder how bad it was before then.
Honestly, with the way Jamie is written, because I have a feeling they didn't completely rewrite her character. Otherwise, she wouldn't have behaved that way through the whole thing. I'm almost convinced an incel wrote this.
Mm.
And then they literally got like a gay man and a lesbian and a super feminist to like get together a writing team of those three to be like, can you just fix this a little bit? Like just so it's not super offensive and just like mildly offensive. We're going for mildly offensive. That's what I think happened.
Now, could this movie be made or rebooted and enjoyed today?
Yes.
No. Oh, really? I mean, you could, like, if you get rid of the R comment, the gay comments, the fat suit, the sexual jokes, the stereotypical psycho female.
I'm not gonna, this is weird because I'm fat, but I'm not offended by the Ryan Reynolds fat suit.
No.
I'm never offended by that because, I mean, let's be real. In society, if you're fat, people are going to make fun of you. You're seen as less attractive. Like, it's just the way it is. Yeah. So I don't mind doing the whole, like, he was fat in high school. He loses weight. I don't like that this woman who was his best friend all of a sudden is like, oh, hey, look at you so hot. I think you could do this again where he gets rejected in high school by his best friend. He leaves for 10 years because of an incredibly embarrassing night.
Mm-hmm.
Most of that can, like, you're changing the language. But when he comes back, what I would like is that his best friend becomes reacquainted with him, realizes he's still the really great guy that he used to be. He can do the, like, maybe I can get in there. But I think there's a way to do it where Jamie is not such a terrible person.
I think it'd be funnier if he came back, she wanted him, but he was like,
but we're
just friends. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was so wrong. You were right. We're just best friends.
That works perfectly where he comes back and he's like, you know what? It was super embarrassing. And then life got in the way and it was just easier for me to fly my family out. Hey, what's going on? You're not married yet? Oh, that's so sad. We can even keep the Anna Faris, like, wackadoodle singer, Samantha, whatever. We can keep her in there. Maybe not so violent, But I mean,
she was very violent,
like just like super stalker, and she's just like, she surprises him because he finally decides to go home for Christmas. Like, there are ways to do this movie where it's basically one of them is friend zoned, remains in that friend zone, but works hard to try and get out of the friend zone 10 years later.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's a way to do it so that it's not offensive and Jamie is not a terrible person. There's a way to do it.
Okay. So, movie score. What are you scoring? Oh, wait. Ready?
I give it a 5.
Oh, ouch. A 5.
Here's what saves it. One, Ryan Reynolds, because
Mm-hmm.
his comedic timing is amazing. Love it. Stephen Marquette, who plays the brother, 100% amazing. The mother, I love her. So Julie Haggerty, that's her name.
She's
Carol.
in the new
She's so
A Christmas Story movie as the mother.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Love
she is good.
There's some really, and Anna Faris.
Yeah.
Chris Klein, yes, but I mean, it's not specific to Chris Klein. It really is the character. I'm like, but those actors, just the way they did it, so much joy and so much laughter. And they kept the movie okay. The actual storyline and dialogue I have issues with. And Jamie is a terrible person.
I am giving the movie an 8.
I respect your 8.
Now, I did write down my reasons for this because 5. We should say a 5 on your is a meh. It was okay. I can justify liking it back then, but it would be a toss up if I ever watch it again. So, like you said, you're not saying that you wouldn't not watch it again.
No, I could watch it again. Am I going to go looking for it? No.
Right.
If I see it on TV, is it my choice over other things I might watch? No. If it's on TV and there's nothing else I want to watch, sure, I'll watch it again. But I also had the problem of the French shaman, the French shaman, where I just feel really uncomfortable through the entire movie for everything that's really embarrassing. And Ryan Reynolds, his character Chris, keeps ending up in incredibly embarrassing and like nausea-inducing like situations for me. So
I remember you said that, and then after I was watching this, or during while I was watching it, I'm like, she might not like this. If it really bothers her, this movie from start to finish is nothing but embarrassing, uncomfortable moments.
That was the overarching, like what got me through it was the comedy performances.
Mm-hmm.
And there were some good ones.
Well,
but for the most part, I just felt really nauseous through the whole thing.
Okay, so I wrote down to explain my 8, because an 8 is, what is an 8? Awesome. I was right then. I am right now. So suck it. Especially by today's standards, that is what a comedy is supposed to be. Funny. The only reason I didn't give it a higher score is because of a lot of its dated jokes and that don't really land well today. Mm-hmm. The jokes that don't land were presented by characters that were supposed to be disliked, and these jokes were meant to help portray that point. Some of the jokes were meant to be harmless comedy, not meant to hurt anyone's feelings, but that doesn't mean they couldn't or don't. And I don't have any right to tell anyone that it's just a joke. But this is not a hateful movie. I don't believe that it is. I'm not 100% sure what the message behind this movie is. Most holiday movies have their message playing loud and clear. Maybe it's just be yourself, or don't be a douche, or maybe home is where the heart is, or you can't go back home. I don't know. The message that is loud and clear from this movie is funny, which is scarce today, which is lacking today, even in the movies supposedly being made in that genre itself. It's all I wanted in this movie, and it's exactly what I got. And if what you're looking for is a good old-fashioned, silly, albeit sometimes cartoonish comedy that is actually funny, I think you'll find that it is it's perfectly fine being just friends with this movie. See what I did there?
I saw what you did there. That was slick.
And it's a friendship I could easily watch again. I'm looking at the back of this DVD and seeing the bloopers, the commentary. I might watch it again. I probably will. And I probably will watch it. Maybe not every holiday, but I can see myself watching it again.
See, I would watch the bloopers and I would watch the alternate ending. This was a two-prong.
It was
why I didn't like it.
It was very two-pronged.
Jamie was a terrible person. But like from the first scenes, I was like, she is such a shitty friend to you. Why are you like begging for her attention? When this movie first came out, I did not have this problem, which is probably why I remember enjoying it more. But I do have a problem watching people in embarrassing situations. It makes me so uncomfortable and it makes me nauseous. And I can't watch. It hurts. It actually hurts my heart to see. So in this movie, it's literally so many times that Chris gets embarrassed. So many times.
Yeah, he really does.
I know. And I felt so bad. And like through the entire thing, I was like, no. Oh. So if you have a problem watching other people be embarrassed, don't watch this movie. You will not enjoy it.
No.
All the time.
If you're a Gen Z, very woke person, you might not enjoy this movie.
No. Oh, no. If you're super woke, this is not.
No.
This is not. If you're not aware of the social circumstances of the time that this movie was made, don't watch it. Because if you're one of those people who could be like, yeah, but that was the mid-2000s, the world was filled with more assholes. Whatever. If you can move past that, fantastic. Enjoy. If you can't, don't even bother. Stay home. Don't rent this. Don't click on it. Don't do any of that. Just, you're not gonna like it. This movie made me uncomfortable.
Well, then we'll say thank you for joining us and talking about the now, well, to me, classic Christmas movie.
No, it's a classic. It's a classic. I swear it is.
Just Friends. Please, if you haven't seen it, go watch it, stream it, rent it. To me, it would be worth even like the bloopers and stuff too. And I really want to see the commentary, like buying it. Remember, we here at I Remember Liking That Movie podcast are not responsible if you watch said movie and totally disagree with what we said. Any Utah wishes or warnings you want to give people?
No, Happy Christmas. What is it? Happy Christmas Hana Kwanzaa?
Yeah. Like, hope you're surviving the shopping, ordering, eating.
Yeah. And all the holiday goodness. Ugh. The advent calendars.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Actually, I'm not going to lie to you. That's what I'm most excited about this holiday season. I've already bought my first one from IKEA, and now I'm going to buy the Kinder one because that's a good one.
IKEA?
Yeah. IKEA has like a fancy chocolate one. Oh. It's like, yeah. No, buddy.
Is it stupid expensive?
No, it's like $12 or $13.
Oh.
I was like, that is a completely reasonable price. That's a lot.
$60 in advent calendars.
That's a little, but I always buy advent calendars. Normally I buy one on like December 2nd or 3rd whenever they go on sale. But I'm like, no, this year we're going to Christmas it up. I'm even thinking about putting up my Christmas tree before December 24th.
Oh, there you go.
We're going to Christmas it up.
I saw a cheese advent calendar. All different cheeses from around the world and different.
I saw a wine one. It's at Costco. Comes in little bottles.
Nice.
And you get like 25 little bottles. And I feel like it's like $60 or $70, something like that.
So worth it just to.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Keep having a Merry Christmas. What was it? Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever you're celebrating.
Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa.
I hope it's awesome.
Congratulations. You just had one of your childhood movie memories vindicated. Or they just eviscerated it. I don't know. This is a generic one-size-fits-all type of ending to the podcast. So thank you for listening, and please join Anna and Jimmy next time for another episode of the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. If you dare to go back and watch that movie you remember liking,